Welcome to Wired Together with Winternet Web and your hosts, Melanie Winter.
And Jason Winter.
And today we're going to get through this. We are going to talk about something that is very close to our hearts, very close to and very near and dear to our family and how we function through. So that being said, this is actually going to be part of a series. We are going to explore the ADHD brain and the use of technology. Now, I know everybody's going to be like, oh, right, because ADHD and technology, that's definitely the cause and the effect. Hold up.
Yeah. Hold yours.
We're going to talk about if it's done right, this may not just help, but actually be the why this style of brain has already been created and wired for future endeavors. So maybe the lean in of the ADHD brain is exactly what's necessary for future.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Being the first of the series, we've titled the series this first episode as the portrait brain. And that is where we're going to dig deeper into the question of does the ADHD brain lose information or does it reorganize it?
Yeah.
So that is what we're kind of going to break down as far as parents, teachers. Typically ADHD, we're thinking more children.
Yeah.
How do we navigate? How do we deal with this?
Right.
And so as a parent, I can definitely vouch for this. I've got obviously Jason here is the teaching side of things and parent. And, you know, I know y'all are shocked.
Right.
Also someone with ADHD. And who uses technology
right
with the ADHD brain. So this is something we definitely know.
Right. Well, I mean, we know from past things on the show, and of course my, what do you call it, affinity, but I guess the word I'm looking for is one that is more like you gravitate to things. And with the history of computer programming and all of that, and as you were talking with the intro, I was just thinking, the ADHD and technology, and there are not many people that I know with ADHD that does not have some type of infatuation with our emergence of technology. Like, in a sense of almost like, oh, I get you. I understand you. You are potentially, you can provide some type of outlet for my brain.
Right.
Part of that can be because typically the ADHD brain is firing a lot. That serves a lot of content. So it has that purpose.
Right. That need to run around and suck up information.
Exactly.
Right.
Our concern here, what we're going to get into is, well, if that information is there, are we fairly evaluating it, whether it is there? Because the way things are stored in the brain is certainly chaotic at best. But yeah, we'll keep talking from there. But I just want to kind of say, I'm like, I just noticed that parallel right when you were giving that intro. But yeah, so we'll keep going.
So our youngest daughter is definitely oh, bless her little heart, very ADHD, and very is I guess unfair, but she is the ADHD girl.
Yeah.
So
and it's a different,
not always something you see,
archetype,
but definitely something that is happening.
Yeah.
And so I did have the luxury. Of course, they were very young during COVID. And so I had a second grader and a kindergartner when COVID started. So for our youngest daughter, she was at the end of kindergarten till third grade, where we homeschooled.
Yeah.
And so I've actually had the luxury of teaching this poor child.
Right.
And trying to figure it out, trying to really understand it. One thing that's been very helpful in my life is I grew up with ADHD. And so in my family, we are not unsure about this particular subject. We know quite a bit about it. So
there are people in your family, but
right.
we won't name them. But it was
much love.
But it was within your circle.
It was in my purview.
Yes, right.
Definitely something I was always trying to kind of wrap my head around. I was actually more of the reader, the quiet one. So as far as functioning, I was not more chaotic, and I was definitely going to be where did Melanie go? Oh, right. She's in a corner reading a book.
Reading a book, yeah.
You know, so...
sure.
And so that was really helpful for the rest of them. But, you know, so I knew enough.
You had to be the calm in the chaos, is what you're saying, I guess?
It wasn't chaos. But, yeah, definitely...
I don't mean chaos as in ridiculous. Chaos
everybody had really good ideas. They just all had a different one.
I mean, chaos is randomness. Like chaos.
Right.
We're talking randomness, so yeah.
Exactly.
Not to
be... navigating through that was always an interest of mine. And not surprised I ended up between you and my family.
She just looked at me.
Recognizing it in my youngest child was not difficult.
Sure.
Even though, again, with a girl, it's a little more hidden.
It is. You know.
But she was definitely wanting to know information.
Yes.
Wanting to be there, wanting to pay attention, and just.
But it's in a different way.
Yes.
I mean, with boys.
It was not, it was not like I'm trying to be defiant. It was compulsive and impossible.
With boys, a lot of times it's exhibited through physical behavior. Running around the stick, hitting a tree, and like screaming. And you go and you. Well, I know they do, but I mean, it's like, okay, what is this? But girls, sometimes it is a little bit more hidden in some of their antics. Oftentimes, girls tend to be classified with the ones that you don't know what's going on in their head.
Daydreaming.
Exactly.
Why is she
but
daydreaming?
hold on. But they're behaving in the classroom because they're not making the noise. They're hidden. But
they certainly don't want to be caught.
They don't want to be caught. Exactly. So, and it becomes undiagnosed oftentimes, but it's probably 50-50 gender based, I would say, because
I agree with you on that.
But yes. But anyway, keep going.
So, it is that moment with teachers and parents where, okay, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Child is listening. Child is engaged.
Yep.
The light up happens.
Oh, yeah.
Things are clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God, I'm so excited,
Oh, yeah.
And then later, as a little time maybe goes through...
Yeah.
Something becomes more of a direct question. So you either ask the child directly or they're taking a test.
Right.
And then what happened?
It's like, I feel like you're getting it.
Right. It's like, were you paying attention at all? Was I confused by the fact that you seemed engaged and then all of a sudden it's gone?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're really talking about here in the reorganization of information.
Mm-hmm.
Is why does it look like it's lost information?
Right. Sure.
When clearly they were understanding at some point.
Yeah.
And so I've had to explain this one quite a bit.
Sure.
With
when you know your child.
Right. I no longer homeschool. They are in school.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to other teachers and things like that, it's trying to re-explain typically the first go-to. It's like, she knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I see her know it.
Yeah, and the teacher knows that, and they're telling you that. But what happens?
The classwork is done. It's great. The homework gets done. It's great.
Maybe even participate in class, and you get that feeling.
And the test was complete bomb.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why is this happening? And
Yeah,
so the first go-to is, why is she not retaining information?
Well, that's the classic.
So
You would think that, but
I'm always explaining that this is not how she performs on tests. It's not about following instructions. It's actually how she thinks.
yeah.
And so my best way of figuring out, and this is where we're getting into the meat of it, of the portrait brain, is the only way I can describe how it is she's thinking, because I'm been paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
is it does not the brain does not collect the facts in a list form.
Right.
The brain is not sitting there with some sort of collection of facts.
No, not a surprise there, yeah.
It paints.
Paints, yeah.
And so because it paints, now we've created a portrait. And so it is, when
Yeah.
I say that it is a portrait, if you think about every piece of information as a drop of paint,
Right.
she's using that paint,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's creating the picture from that. And
Oh,
so it's a beautiful
I see the analogy you're getting at.
way of, to me, a beautiful way of thinking. The only problem with that is it's often in school settings, and pretty much life settings, a lot of people,
Yeah.
it's often seen as she is not retaining factual information,
Right.
which is not true. She's actually, when she's supposed to be recalling information,
Sure.
she has now painted this huge portrait.
Yes.
She sees the big picture. She sees the emotional attachment of everything.
And it's connected it to other stuff too.
Has connected it. And so when you ask her the information, she's got to figure out somehow to navigate through all of this paint and pull out one piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like if the facts are the colors, you're asking for the blue, but part of that blue is mixed with red to make the purple.
Right.
So how do you get that back?
Right. How do you get that back?
Without the story and kind of like this, experience of what it was. And outside of that, I just can't extract that piece. It's not sitting right there.
Right.
It's mixed right here. But I can tell you the whole story.
Right.
And I can recall it through a different process maybe. But
so we think of the traditional model of learning,
yeah.
Facts in, facts out, right?
Right. Mm.
So they're defined, they're labeled, and easy to retrieve.
Sure.
And that is traditional model of learning. And so those that can memorize and understand that the piece by piece, definition, label, easy to retrieve,
Right.
obviously you're going to do extremely well. And
Right.
when you're taking tests and things like that.
Right.
Sure, it is better when you know the content to the point of deeper. When you get into higher levels, high school, college, you need to know deeper to know all of these need to apply. So
right.
What is the best answer?
Yeah, best. I was going to say, the best
or
answer.
How many of these answers apply
Right.
to
So you can isolate and what have you.
Tests do change, but it is still really based off of the definition, the labeled content, and how easy is it to retrieve. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, to me, not unfortunately,
right.
But in these specific settings, the ADHD mind, these drops are not isolated.
Yeah, right.
So because they blend, because they connect, because they form that portrait.
Sure.
Then when you asked about something very specific, in a very specific way, like a test question.
Oh, yeah. In isolation, yes.
Right. It becomes harder to recall.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first answer, when you have that situation, we need to go backwards.
Oh, yeah. Let's drill this more.
They're not retaining the information well enough.
Let's go, yeah.
So now we're going to go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to redo the information.
Yeah.
Because maybe if it's clearer,
right,
they will retain it. And so typically, that's the big thing. Teachers, parents, they're not retaining, they're not retaining, they're not retaining. and then they're beating their heads against the wall because that retention is what they're looking for, but it's not the retention, it's the recall.
But from that student's perspective, and I can relate to some degree with this.
I'm hoping you do.
We're now going back because, say you were looking for that blue. So now we're doing another painting. Or at least I'm going to do another painting.
Right.
But now I'm disenfranchised because you didn't talk about my use of texture on the painting I made the first time. But now we need to go back and do it again. It's like I'm ready to have this deeper conversation in a way you didn't expect.
Right.
But here we go.
And so now I'm having to
here's
redo
another
this.
blinking cursor canvas.
Right.
And now I'm doing it again.
One particular year, my youngest child was put in some more remedial
Oh yeah.
classes.
Right.
I say mine. I mean, it's ours, but
No,
our child.
You're the one talking.
But I was more, I guess, in that decision making.
And this had to do with like diphthongs and stuff like that, or something. It was some language.
So they were thinking she was just missing too much,
right?
Too many holes, and
right.
So they put her in some more remedial.
Yes.
And she came to me and she's like,
What?
I don't understand. I already know all of these sounds. I know how to read. I know what I'm.
Like,
it's just like I know what I'm doing.
Sure.
I don't get why we're going backwards. And so I was like, not everybody understands it, and so a lot of times you're not able to show what you understand and what you know.
Yeah.
I know what you know.
Yep.
And so right now, just let them take you out of class and do some of this kind of stuff just to give yourself a break.
Yeah. Sometimes that's important too.
And she's like,
well,
I said, do you like the teacher and the one-on-one? She said, absolutely.
Well,
then take the break.
Yeah, you're minimizing stimuli too, which is another component
right.
that is.
That was a difficult year with more stimulation happening.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you know what? You get a few minutes of break that relearning something you already know, so go ahead and
take it as a win and go.
Take it as a win.
For whatever that means, just go. Yes, I know. Yep.
Yeah. So again, it's that go-to response.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's not getting it.
Yeah.
And so I've always had to kind of re-explain. She's not missing the information. She's actually not able to use it in the broader sense.
Sure.
Because what she's doing is she's making the information something that is connected.
Yeah, it is all connected. Yeah. I mean, because it's kind of an aura. I mean, if you will, everything, like we're talking with the painting, and I certainly understand the physical coming together and making a painting, but I mean, with it being an aura, it's kind of like an igneous rock, when you go back that far.
Can you pull the quartz out of an igneous rock?
Well, you got quartz, you got feldspar,
right?
It's all like peppered in there together, and they're all different pieces, but it's one unit. And I mean, honestly, you really you can't take this for granted. But
I knew it by your
you knew
your
something.
pause,
My pause, you knew it
make
was coming.
fun.
Yeah, of course.
It's gonna be really bad.
I know, but honestly, I mean, there are parts that define a whole. We are always looking for the parts outside of everything, but it's not how everything works. Everything does connect to something else, is my point.
Right.
Either an emotional thing, or even contextual, or cross-curricular. I mean, I know all the terms. I've been in education for 14 years. I know how it all works, and we forget. We say we want to teach students in the way they are individually, but because of the system, we're forced to teach it as a class. Unless you have that teacher, and thankfully, we've had some really good teachers.
Oh, amazing. She has amazing teachers.
That can step back. And if you can step back, take that moment, wait, this is so-and-so. Okay. well, then let's do this. Or have the ability to make modifications. And I also say that in the same breath of, I know we have IEPs and we have 504s and everything else that are there. That's paperwork.
And that becomes hard
That's
on the
exhausting.
teacher.
And I know that. But just understanding where someone comes from and understanding that maybe if the test is the only way, maybe that's the problem.
Well, in the case of the youngest child, that is, and that's always what I get called in
Oh, right.
to discuss
Sure. Yeah.
with teachers. Okay, again, she knows the information.
Right.
She does well in class. She can repeat it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, she can study,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Why is it this doesn't work?
Yep.
Why is it every time she's taking a test, all of a sudden it's gone?
What's fragmented?
And so explaining the fragmentation
Yeah.
to the teachers is always very eye-opening, and it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm seeing this now. So it works in this context, because isolating something that is tiny,
Yeah.
when you've already made this big story about it. And I do need to explain, why do we know this?
Sure.
In homeschooling, and when schooling, obviously homework, that is still schooling at home.
Yeah.
If you actually just close everything, close the book, turn the pages over, whatever, and say, explain this to me.
Tell me the story
Tell
about
me what's going on. Tell me the story.
this
Tell me
this
what
Indian group in the
you
southeast.
understand. Right.
And she could paint
all
a
of a
picture,
sudden,
right?
yeah, the picture gets painted.
Yeah, the paint. Yeah,
She's-
right.
She'll
Yeah,
start
I see what
very.
you're getting at. Yeah.
She'll start kind of unsure.
Yep. There's hesitation, but
There's
then
a hesitation,
then
and then
bam.
as she talks, the more she realizes, the more she knows.
yeah, because it's all elusive.
And then she's giving you
It's an aura.
the painting.
Exactly.
And then once she gives
Once
you
she
the
has the
painting,
painting,
you're
she
sitting
can
there
extra-
going,
but
she
she-
knows everything.
Once you
that she
hold the
needs to.
painting in your mind, you can extract every little piece again. You can then, like backtrack,
Right.
reverse engineer, if you will.
Exactly.
Because you got it's an artifact that you've created, like in a museum, but now you can reverse engineer, because I painted this, I now know this, and I now know this and all this. But we're talking about this here. We're not down the room in this other room. You brought me here to now remember it.
Right.
And that's weird.
It's weird, but it's cool.
I don't mean weird as like strange. I mean,
And
I'm right there in it. I
like
know,
the
but
information just becomes alive.
it does. Yeah.
And so it becomes alive, it becomes connected, it
Sure.
becomes something outside of the bulleted points, something
Yes.
outside of the list, outside of the A, B, C, D, E
Mm-hmm.
choice, and it becomes something that is living.
Yeah.
And when you watch that in action, it's very interesting, very cool, and then you become a little disheartened when, yes, bless her heart, she's again taking the test and
Yep.
bombs the test.
Yeah.
And so what we've been doing that's slightly different is, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing your work. You understand the information. If I close everything and I know that you're regurgitating this information to me,
Mm-hmm.
then I clearly understand you understand it.
Right. And then you pass
And
them on.
then it's just retelling that back to any teacher or anybody that's there. And it's like, I'm not asking you to stop the test.
Right.
Because there's no way you
No,
can.
no,
There's
no,
no
right.
way you can fight the whole system and stop this for one kid.
No more tests. No.
Or,
Anyway, yeah.
for probably about 12 kids per
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
But realize that the test doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Because of when I realize what she knows, then I don't need
It's
to
like,
worry.
okay, take that grade. We know what you
So,
know, but
here we are.
move forward. Yeah.
Here's the grades.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
And eventually you're going to see, and eventually it's going to be seen
Yep.
that she is making these amazing connections based off of that.
Sure.
And the more she is able to do that, the more it's going to be seen, and the more that is going to apply to her life.
Right.
So, why does this matter for Wondernet Web? And so we're diving into just one kid, and it's not just one kid. This is I'm pretty sure, because I know a lot of different kids. I've had such a luxury of being involved in their friends and community organizations and things like that, church, where there's so many kids out there.
Yep.
And again, growing up with it, learning you, and you growing up with it, there is this labeling and this distraction and all of this lack of attention. So, is this all? What's the good points? What can we actually pull from this when it comes to something Wondernet Web understands, which is technology?
Yeah, true. And it all changes and evolves, and I think recently we've seen how technology has improved in ways that are kind of getting rid of the needs of memorization and other things. So why and when can we maybe reorganize how we're teaching people to be ready for kind of what is already here?
And that's where it is. It's already here.
Yeah.
Technology can serve as executive function.
You can.
Used correctly.
Well, help executive function.
And, and not serve as executive function. Help executive function.
Well,
if we understood the tool that we have at hand. And I think that's where we are trying to really paint this picture. I did that on purpose.
No.
Of if we are able to utilize technology to help with executive function, we're able to see the tools that are there.
Right.
Then isn't the ADHD brain the wave of the future?
Well, I guess in the context, if you're like connected through different ways of thinking, then again with an aura, and if you embrace technology, maybe you understand perhaps, or could really get the bigger picture of that. I mean, technology certainly helps us immensely. And when I was younger, before the days of like a smartphone, but even years after having one, I had a habit of putting index cards in my wallet. Blank ones and ones that were partly filled. And what I would do is sometimes I would always passively thinking about something, and then I would jot stuff down on the appropriate index card, folded and nasty in my wallet, but I could still, find them.
That.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
And when I needed it, it was there. But this was, when you talk about executive function, one thing about executive function is able to, do the task at hand as necessary, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The problem is when you have too many firings that are happening and you want to focus on this one thing that could be talking to you right in front of you, but you're concurrently tackling 3 projects that are simmering on the stove burner. And it's always a matter of convincing yourself, how do I make that not important right now? Because you don't want to walk away from the stove. But how can I focus on what is right in front of me? That's taking a test. You're supposed to take everything away from your brain and go and focus on this. But wait, I got stewed tomatoes in the back left corner. I got my entree in the front left. I got water that's still boiling, and I'm supposed to put pasta in it eventually. But the index cards is a way of jotting down something that I could then tuck away in my wallet. And I know it's there when I need it. Therefore, my frontal lobe doesn't need to keep it right there.
Right.
The panic can go away. I don't need to worry about, oh my God, I'm going to forget this or whatever. I can pretty much, like a save game file on a role-playing game. All right, save it, done, move on. I'll come back to it. And technology, of course, now, I mean, it's ubiquitous. You know, I mean, you could start drafting an email in Google, and it saves it as a draft. Great. You don't need to worry about that. You can go back to it. I mean, technology is built for more information, chaotic information, and it's there to allow you to keep track of everything. I mean, take a look. I mean, there's so many tools out there that help with executive function. And
so if the tech is the executive function,
right,
and
then
the ADHD person is the creative
mind.
Yeah,
maybe, but
and
connected
the
mind?
connected, creative,
Right.
all-encompassed version.
Yeah.
Then, again, isn't that exactly what is necessary in today's society?
Yeah.
To have if the AI
Sure.
is Google on steroids,
Yes. As we've said, yeah, makes sense.
then what if ADHD
Yeah.
is the human on steroids? Not actual steroids, but
Right.
the human
Yeah.
as
Well, it's-
the most human. So yes, sometimes we are often human. We are trying to function. We are trying to have our list. We're trying to do the right things.
We're all trying to do different things, yes. Yep.
Pay our taxes. We're trying to do that at the right time in the month.
Yeah.
We're trying to, make sure the light bill is taken care of, that sort of thing. So we're always trying to do our list.
Task management.
The task management of our day.
Sure.
And so if the AI and the computing takes some of that task management and allows us to kind of put ourselves and pull it from the frontal lobe, place it over here, and then it gives us the ability to go into the creative mind, go into the portrait.
Well, it allows us to be there without the threat of, I'm going to be called out.
Right.
It's like I can play.
Right.
Because I got my homework done.
Yes.
You see what I'm getting at?
Kind of like that.
So you're able to explore without the threat of certain things that I forgot this or whatever, creating an issue where now, oh no, I now messed this up. But I'm trying to do all these things at the same time. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And so the modern world, or the world that we are seeing that is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're shifting from a traditional movement, a traditional system.
Right.
We have, recall, answers, and not just answers, fast answers.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember there was in early elementary,
right,
timed test.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Right.
The wonderful panic.
Right. It gave me heart palpitations
right?
just to have those time tests. It's like that does not make sense. And isolated facts. So we have isolated facts, we have fast answers, we have clean recall. Those three things creating this traditional system. We need to make sure you're able to recall. We need to make sure you're able to do it fast. And then make sure you isolate those facts so that it comes up correctly on a test.
Right.
Maybe in today's society, like, what is that going to be when it comes to your career or your next step in adulthood, when fast answers come from computing?
Right.
The clean recall will come from computing, and your isolated facts can come from computing.
Yes,
So
of course.
now
What are we left with?
Taught
right.
is kind of what's able to be accessible.
Right.
So in modern world terms,
Yep.
there's connection.
Of course. What?
There is creativity.
Like, and all the soft skills the businesses want you to have.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Right? And problem solving.
Yeah. Exactly.
So a computer cannot problem solve. A computer cannot always tell the story in the way that the story needs to be told properly.
Right.
And the computer cannot make human connection.
No.
And so that's where maybe, again, the ADHD brain,
Right.
the brain that already gravitates this direction,
Yeah.
that is not a computer, that does not compute in the same way,
Right.
that cannot isolate facts in the same way, that maybe that's why ADHD is becoming such a hyperdiagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So did not actually do that one on purpose.
No, I know. That's funny.
But why it's more diagnosed, why it's something
Yeah.
that's you see more often.
Yep.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
When the computer can do the other things, it makes sense that you need creativity and connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, like, why recall is drilled in our head so much as important that, facts on a test, for just the nature of the test, prove understanding. But as far as the bigger picture, the application, and, I mean, we can get into the whole, higher levels of learning and understanding and all of that. But, we're not tested for how the ideas obviously connect with us. It's all just pure fact. Because you can't really do that. You can't get the deeper dive of, to what end have you taken this fact and have connected it with whatever else you know that could become useful. Because, again, I mean, George Carlin said something that I'm not going to say in the way he said it, but you nail two things together that have never been nailed together before, someone's going to buy it.
Right.
So innovation comes from finding uncommon connections.
Right.
Testing comes from, what did I give you that you can give me back? If I gave it to you, you can give it to me back. That in itself is not innovation. It's the higher level process. It's the analysis. It's the synthesizing. It's, going higher in that echelon. It's I know from the education system, you want to teach to that level. It's very hard to get to that level. But when people are already functioning at that level, then it's hard to come back down to extract the pieces that they don't realize are important to you. So that's just, I don't know. This is a very difficult thing, really, I guess, to manage, because there's so many different angles.
Well, the brain is going to be difficult to manage, but again, so how do we manage it in today's society?
Right.
And what if our management of it in the past isn't really what today is asking for?
True.
And so when we need those tools for storage,
yeah,
and for organization,
yeah,
and for search,
yeah,
if we have those tools,
we do,
then maybe the management all comes in the tools that we already have.
Right.
So if we can put some of the executive function on the outside,
yeah,
and we teach those as tools when it comes to okay, you all have a small computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
You all have sent home a computer.
I know.
Most schools are 1-to-1 with computers and children. Yay.
Yay.
And so, okay, let's actually use this. Let's learn this. Sometimes outside executive function is you put note cards in your wallet.
Yeah.
It's still outside executive function. It's executive function that you pulled out of the brain to put into your wallet.
Sure. It's intentional.
So nowadays you can do that more with an app, with
and I do
notes on your phone. I have so many notes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
I don't have to worry about my grocery list being on the top of my head. My grocery list is actually in my phone.
Yep.
And so that's an important thing to let's utilize these tools.
Right.
Let's figure these tools out. And then once we figure these tools out and that becomes a replacement of executive function, then maybe let's move away from ABCD.
Yeah.
And let's move into that bigger picture, that connectivity,
right?
That portrait.
Yep, exactly. That's true.
Because the main thing I've noticed when it comes to other children, my own children, when it comes to that, what's innate.
Right.
And I will have a lot of teachers that children have changed. There's a lot that has not changed about children.
No, not them specifically. Maybe the dynamic that they're in.
The system changed a lot.
Yeah, sure.
But curiosity still exists.
Oh, definitely.
I have never actually talked to a child that was either within my family or outside of my family that did not have some sort of curiosity.
What happens if I do this?
Once you listen, they start asking questions.
Right,
and they really want to know the answer to questions.
Of course, yeah.
Because curiosity is always there.
Curiosity is also connectivity.
Exactly. And so whether it is a straight A student or a CD student, that curiosity is certainly always going to be a part of their upbringing. That's going to be a part of what they need to know.
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of bow down to that, lean into that, and say, okay, if you're going to be curious, then let me give you the tools when it comes to everything you're trying to hold. You know, it's like holding a when you've gone to the grocery store and you got a bunch of bags and you are bound and determined to bring all of those bags in at the same time.
Of course. My left arm, I don't need that anymore.
You know better.
As long as I get all the bags in. Yep.
You know this is not going to work, and you're probably going to end up dropping the ham. But you're going to do it anyway. And you're going to take all of those bags, and you're going to try and pull it all in anyway.
Sure.
That's what's happening with the ADHD brain.
Yep.
You told me that I need to know all of this information, that I need to have it forefronted, that I need to have it for the test, that I need all of this information, and now it's an overload.
Yep.
But if we just allowed, okay, let's take some of that load. Let me teach you the tools. Let's put this load into a list form. Let's put this load into something that you can use as an application. And then, what do you want to learn? What is your curiosity going to be? You know, and so when we drop all of those things, we put that away, we've stored it where it needed to be, and now we can access the celery whenever we need it.
Sure.
So, okay, great. It's all fit in it's all in its place.
Yep.
So now what?
Exactly. Everything's put away. Now what's the task at hand? What do we want to make? What do we want to do?
What do you want to make for supper?
Right.
With all of these random ingredients.
That's true. Everything is in its place. Now you're only drawing upon what is necessary, not what you're carrying in presently. So you're minimizing what you're drawing from, because I guess from an executive function standpoint, you're able to move forward with something creative because you're not bogged down by, what you brought in.
Right. So, all of these facts that you're now trying to hold.
It's like, what does all this mean right now when I'm trying to, just...
Right. And so it does. For many children, adults, and very much adults.
Everyone,
don't think adults do not have this problem. Do I really need to hold it all at once?
True.
And so we have made so we don't have to hold it all at once. And that's great. And so, Your mind is not supposed to be a file cabinet.
No, not now. I mean,
But
and I think back to the stories that and situations where, again, like my index cards, that was my filing cabinet, but I had to put it somewhere to be able to think.
well, and we come from a older, multi-generational area,
Yeah.
and I have ledgers.
Oh
I
yeah.
have diaries of,
Sure.
of my great-great-grandparents
Right.
where they had to actually take the filing cabinet that was stuck in their head and they had to put it down on
Yep.
something.
So and so owes this on this, blah blah
Right.
blah, if you will.
And so
yeah.
it's fascinating to read
Of
those
course.
ledgers and that kind of thing. But even then, we knew we were not filing cabinets.
Yeah.
We actually had to put the information somewhere
Yeah.
to not have to file everything.
True.
And so if we're not file cabinets, then maybe we're meant to be canvases.
Yeah, it's all together.
Then maybe we're meant to be the painting. Maybe
Yeah.
that is where not ADHD is
Yeah.
the problem or the diagnosis, but maybe that's where ADHD shines. Find me everywhere, every place I can put this file information,
Yeah.
and then let me shine.
And what
Because I know it in such a way that is so cool to me, and I can't wait for you to see it the way that I see it.
and what can I do with it
And then what do I do with it?
that may be entirely new?
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, and we're certainly going to be talking about this topic a lot more. Again, this is first in the series, and we'll kind of come and go in what we discuss. But this is certainly, again, something that I guess we have seen. You know, you have the ADHD mind, you have the continuing growth of technology, how we're seeing the two come together. And it's kind of, things are making sense in possibilities.
Maybe this is
And also a misunderstanding. But yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're going to leave this episode. And again, thanking you all for your support and everything. We're going to, as always, place this on our website. This will become also a podicle if you're following that, I guess, innovation that we have put together, where sometimes you're not in the position to be able to listen to an entire podcast, but you want the gist of it. You want the too long didn't read version,
too long didn't read version. I love that.
But something you can browse and get the gist of it, but also understand. Okay, now that I read the book, the short book, I want to watch the play. I want the experience. I want the conversation. I want kind of like what went down, the aura of those that were talking about it. So, please share this podcast with your friends and follow, leave a review. All of that will help us to continue to get more out to you. And again, we couldn't do this without your support. So with all that said, unplugging for now.
But always stay connected.